Good morning. Today I wanted to talk about confidence and how a lot of us struggle, including myself. For a long time, I struggled with having a negative self image. And although I thought I was pretty confident on the surface, and maybe there was some levels of confidence that I did have, there was still these deep rooted insecurities and negative, terrible beliefs about myself. And I didn't know that these beliefs were there until I really started to pay attention to my physiological reactions in moments, okay? So we all tend to notice when certain things that make us feel bad. And when we notice when we're feeling bad and feeling crap about ourselves, and the negative thoughts come into our head. You're not good enough. You're so stupid. Why did you do that? Oh my God, right? A lot of us recognize that. But number one, I want to say that I never really questioned my beliefs about myself a long time ago. And I would continue to attach and identify with those beliefs. And what I mean by that is when those thoughts and would come up, I would identify. I'd be like, yeah, I'm a piece of crap. I'm not good enough, and I would just go with it. And back to what I was saying about noticing things, the physiological reactions in my body are something that I never really I felt and I noticed, but I didn't really pay attention to or question. And so on my journey of becoming more confident, what I first started to do was to change my mindset and my beliefs about myself. So in order to do that, I needed to pay attention to the thoughts that would come up in these moments. And while I got to know these thoughts, these negative beliefs about myself, I started to change the way I wanted to think about myself, right? That I am smart, I am good enough, that I am amazing, all these wonderful things. But even though I built this strong mental foundation of positive, um, uh, more compassionate beliefs about myself, which is very important, I'm going to note, because it is part of the process. But I want you to know that I've recognized that it is not the only thing that comes up or needs to be addressed when changing our overall mindset belief or changing our overall experience of feeling crap about ourselves in a moment and letting that shape how we feel about ourselves and shape the rest of our day, the rest of our lives. Okay? So the physiological signs that come up, the physiological reactions that come up when you are triggered into feeling that old belief. So what I want to say is that when something happens in your external environment, say somebody gives you some feedback at work, regardless of how they say it, okay? What happens is your body, and this is like a fact, your body reacts first and then your brain does. So when I say your body reacts, what I mean is how your body reacted a long time ago. It started a pattern and it continued after that. So a long time ago, somebody gave you, I don't know, some situation, okay? Made you, the way you perceived it is you took it negatively, and it was maybe, let's say, some sort of feedback, and or you're just hard on yourself, and you took it bad, and the belief that you took in was, I'm not good enough, okay? So then after that, every time something similar happened, you would react like that. But what happens when we feel bad about ourselves? Things happen in our body, okay? So every time this would happen, your body would, like for myself, I would get a feeling in the pit of my stomach, almost like a, like this, okay? And when that happens, okay, then your matched belief shows up of, I'm so stupid, I'm never gonna get this, why did I even try? Okay? And this continues to happen every single time something similar happens in your environment. And then after, it's just an automatic reaction that happens. And then you say, well, this is me. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart. I don't want to try to let's say apply for that position because I know that if I get it, they're not going to like my work and they're going to give me feedback and say that this wasn't good, that's not good, you need to work on this, you need to work on that. And we avoid any situations that trigger that physiological response and then that matched belief. Does that make sense? So, on your journey towards transforming this and changing the way you believe about yourself, I want you to do what I did. And yes, focus on changing your beliefs and your thoughts about yourself, building that strong foundation in your mind, but to also start to notice and listen to your body throughout the day, all day. Okay? I'm telling you that in the beginning, I didn't pay as much attention. I knew about it intellectually, but until I really started to pay attention, the more that I started to pay even more attention. And what I realized is that my body is reacting in all these situations without my consent, right? Because it's just an automatic reaction that was programmed whenever. It doesn't even matter at this point when it was programmed, how it was programmed, who programmed it, because at this point you just want to move on with your life. You just want to feel good about yourself. You don't want to allow fear to shape your life, right? So that you don't go and try out new opportunities in your life because of these programmed insecurities that you have in your body that you think are your identity, but they are not. So, in order to start to become aware of these physical sensations in your body, you must have a stillness practice. And what I mean by that is not that you need to go out into the woods and meditate for hours per day, okay? Because I don't do that. What I mean is that in the morning, in the evening, during the day, any time that you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, however many minutes that you're able to start to literally sit by yourself without stimulating yourself in any way, okay? And when you do this, when you just sit without talking to anybody, without going on your phone, you're going to have thoughts that come by, okay, things that come up, all right? But you're also going to start to practice this skill of paying attention to what's going on in your mind, in your body, in your emotions. And I'm telling you that sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable, but this is a part of becoming more aware of your pre-programmed mindset, beliefs, in order to change yourself to however way that you want to be, right? Say you've been insecure, your entire life, and you want to change this. You need to take responsibility by tuning in. And when we start to tune in and pay attention without judgment, okay, without poking at us in any negative ways, we begin to see what has been running the show, how it's been running the show, and how and when we can interrupt our patterns. And so when it comes to moments that make us feel bad about ourselves, okay, what we need to start to do is acknowledge the physiological response, the physical sensations in your body when something is happening. So instead of reacting at somebody or towards the environment that is creating the trigger, silence. Silence yourself. Don't judge, don't talk, nothing. And feel what's going on in your body. And you might be feeling very uncomfortable. And one thing that I'll tell you that you need to start doing is treating yourself like you're your parent in that moment. Or if you didn't have a good parent when you were younger, a parent that you would have wanted. So things that I say to myself in these moments of uncomfortability is, it's okay, Kylie. I feel that you're feeling uncomfortable right now, but I'm here for you, okay? Acknowledge the feeling, comfort and nurture yourself, and also, if you've also built your foundation, excuse me, foundation of a more, positive self-talk, more compassionate and loving beliefs and thoughts about yourself, this is the moment when you implement it. Okay? So not only do you recognize the physical sensations, you acknowledge them. I feel this. I know this is your old way of feeling, but I am here for you, and this is not who we are or who we want to be anymore. And the point of this is to unidentify with this old way of thinking about yourself and to program a newer way. And I would say to myself, this is not who we are anymore because it doesn't make us feel good. Okay, say for instance, I'm getting feedback at a job, which was actually one of my triggers. I would start to feel that bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. Okay, I would remind myself, this feedback is for you to get better at what it is that you love doing. This feedback does not mean danger. It does not mean that you're not worthy. It means that this is a gift for you to be able to get better at what it is that you love to do. Okay? Reframing the negative old beliefs into new, empowered, compassionate, resilient thoughts, beliefs, words. Okay? So this is a step-by-step process. And in order for it to reprogram you completely to the point where you are a changed person is repetition. Repetition in every moment when you're feeling bad. You cannot, and I mean you will go back to your old way of thinking sometimes because it's just a part of growth and the process, but you need to make sure to try your best every single time to catch that physical sensation. Maybe you get a tight chest, maybe your palms start sweating. So that is also key, that you need to pay attention to what your bodily sensations are in these moments, because your bodily sensations are what start the process of the old reaction. And with this old reaction, okay, to your environment is how you're perceiving. You're perceiving, oh, that's a threat. I don't want to go over there because it's going to make me feel bad about myself. Right? Instead of being reactive, which most of us are, I know I was, instead of right away reacting to your environment, stop. Walk away. Go for a walk. Be by yourself. Don't say anything. Don't judge anything. In all situations, listen to what's going on. Feel into what's going on. Tune into what's going on in your body and in your mind. Okay? Because whatever's going on in your body is your old programming. So when you interrupt that pattern is when you are able to change the program, uninstall and reprogram the newer way of being.